Ma'am, shall we begin? A very good evening to the chief guest, Dr. Indra Parekh, ma'am, guest of honor, Mr. Naveen Kumar Murthy, sir, and Mr. Rajiv Rambhatla, sir, Ms. Simi Burgess, ma'am, Corporate Relation and Events Head at Law Internships, the Online Law School, and the student Serafina Ilyas, Student Coordinator at Law Internships, the Online Law School, and everyone else present here. I am Riddhi Jindal, Head Coordinator at Law Internships and the host for today's ceremony. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome everyone at the panel for the valedictory ceremony of the National Virtual Debate Competition 2020 organized by Law Internships, the Online Law School. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Simi Varghese, ma'am, to introduce Law Internships, the Online Law School. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Riddhi. Good evening, respected dignitaries and all our audience and the participants as well. Together we can, together we will. Yes, Law Internship started off with a vision to help law students achieve their dream internship with top-notch lawyers, law firms, corporate bodies, and such. We strongly believe that true internship is one where students are allowed to actively participate and not just passive learning. Today, we provide opportunities in the field of law to the students pursuing undergraduate and postgraduate programs. We assist students at every turn to gain professional experience as well as to hone their legal skills while being enrolled in a full time law program. It gives us immense joy to see that our mission to pave a path for the students is becoming gradually and steadily. We are happy to see the students who have approached us are placed under able mentors. With that, we also take pride to bring you our vision for a full fledged online school which shall provide extensive education services. The objective is to forge a credible platform for the law aspirants who want to pursue and fulfill their educational requirements that is wholesome with practical exposure to relevant skills. The principles of law internships are coherent to its approach and performance. It is a response to the need of the hour, as is a personal effort on the part of a bunch of young professionals to give back to the community. As mentioned, for education to be wholesome, it needs to be coupled with activities that will ensure active involvement of the law students. And Law Internships is one such organization which has arranged platforms that have branched out to not only legal internships but also national competitions and seminars by eminent personalities from the legal fraternity, certificate courses, law journal, placements and recruitments, and University Connect programs, which further branches out into two narratives, the orientation and internships program and the internships program alone. This school is unique and one of its kind, which focuses on unlatching a law school wherein students will get an opportunity to hone their skills outside a classroom environment, encouraging their holistic development. Over to Riddhi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I feel privileged to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Indra Parekh, ma'am. Dr. Indra Parekh, ma'am, is the founder of Flame University, Pune. Ma'am has taught at IIM Ahmedabad for more than 3 decades and also has been a former dean of IIM Ahmedabad. Ma'am's area of interest include chemical engineering, business development and management, economics and accounts. Ma'am has also taught at INSEAD, Fountain, EBLU, and Texas A&M University. And ma'am has developed specialization in organization development, design, and institution development. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Indra Parekh, ma'am, to address the gathering. Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the Law Internship Program to invite me to this valedictory address. And I also salute my other distinguished guests who are present and the students who are participating in this debate. It's an honor and a privilege. I have addressed many such events, but not the law event. So this is my first. So I was wondering, so I started to think about all the law people I knew and the work which we are doing to get the best lawyers to do the students an internship It is almost like a Guru Shishya tradition where you not only learn from the lawyers, you also learn about their life, about their values, about their ethics, and about how they really engage in this kind of practice. Internship has been right from the very beginning one of the basic tools of learning, and it teaches you many things. So internship program which you have developed is, I have looked at it, it's a very good program. One of the things I also looked at was some of the areas from where you can learn, because the president talked about the holistic learning. Holistic learning comes not from the knowledge of the function which you are learning or knowledge of the subject, but everything which is around it. When I was a student of liberal social science in the US, what we were taught to learn was read a lot of books which were very much different from the subjects which we were learning. For it helps you connect disparate events and bring it to a sense of meaning. The lawyers do that. They have so much scattered data. They just pick up the right data from everything, put it together and make a meaning out of it to make their case. So it's a very important thing. And one or two books come to my mind, which are very good for examples of how law is practiced. One is Arthur Conan Doyle of, now that name misses me. Do you remember the name of Arthur Conan? Sherlock Holmes. The Sherlock Holmes is a very good example of books on law or learnings about law. And Agatha Christie, about all her mysteries, how she connects from her village experience to solve the mystery. I think that is my image of what lawyers do. They take a completely diverse information and put it together and come to a correct solution and a correct answer. Very impressive. Also around this time, if you see the presidential election in the US, most of the people who are really, and the vice president, who is the vice president elect, is a good lawyer. Barack Obama has been a good lawyer. So there have been all the more law education has become very important to give a talk, to articulate, have tremendous logical articulation. So I hope all the students who have succeeded in the competition one day will be highly political, admired leaders. So such a time is also a threshold and a crossroad for each young person who will have to, for some, it will be a life-defining moment to be successful here, because it changes your perspective about yourself. It gives you confidence, it gives you courage, it gives you convictions, and it helps you to self-reflect on the values you hold and the ability to share your values with other people. So I wish all the success and congratulations to all the people who have successfully participated, and all the people who are yet to be successful will be in some other programs, in some other debates. In life, there are lots of opportunities. You are very young, you have the whole life in front of you. So one failure doesn't mean, or one non-success does not mean much, but it only means a stepping stone to learning better, to see what makes other people successful and what did you do which you fell short of. So it's important to learn from every life experience of how to go into the forward. And what I have believed in my life is that every experience that you have has a meaning for some times to come in the future. Now, I will tell you, when I became the dean, I thought that was the end of my road to administrative and leadership position. But just as I finished, I became the president and founder president of Flame. And that experience had prepared me to take a very effective role as the president of Flame. So any experience you have is an indication of what is to come in your life. And if you can connect it, you can be well prepared for it. For example, when I was doing my liberal education or social science, I got my BA in social science in the US. And the kind of things I learned, the kind of books I was asked to read, had a tremendous meaning for me when I became a faculty in IIM, because my knowledge base, which was so immense of the kind of readings, because in one of the course we had to read 100 books, and we were all cribbing and screaming saying 100 books in a trimester is a bit too many. But all those books we had read and put it together had come in handy when I became a faculty at IIM, because I had so much experience of such diverse books, and it gave me the contextual clarity of different cultures and different societies. So everything you learn, don't ever see it as a waste of time or not necessary. It is preparing you something which you don't know about, because none of us know what the future destiny holds for us. I'll give you one example of what it means. There was a participant in my program, in the education program, management education program. He was from Mozambique. He was a student of mine. He came to my, just before he was leaving, he came to see me and said, "Prof, give me one line of advice." So I looked at him and I said, how do I give him one line of advice which will last him for a lifetime? So I said, his name is Julian. I said, Julian, since you are the only one from Mozambique who has come to IIM to study, and you are asking me this question, let me tell you something, that in your life, the destiny has many things to offer to you. Don't be scared of accepting, just accept it, no matter how challenging they are. He came back 15 years later to IIM just to meet me. He was by then the president of Mozambique. And he said, I have come to tell you that what you told me, I have followed it word by word. He says, when I returned back to Mozambique, I got a job which was 3 times higher than what I anticipated. And I was really scared, but I listened to your voice, told me, don't get afraid of challenges, take challenges. So I said, yes. Next 3 years, I was 3 more positions ahead. And then 3 more years later, I was in the vice president. And now I'm the president, just because I took your advice. So destiny has many things to offer. Just look at the opportunities, trust yourself, believe in yourself. And if you have the right values, you don't have to fear anything. You can just plunge into the unknown and discover that it has many things to offer. Once again, all the best wishes to the young people and all the successful people. When you become big lawyers fighting for the nation, arguing for the nation, think that this was the opportunity that you got, and you are going to move forward with immense amount of pride and gratitude to the institution which has given you all this knowledge and wisdom. So God bless you in your life and in future times to come, and be mighty successful and happy in your life. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, ma'am, for your graceful words. Now, I would like to I feel immense pleasure to introduce our guest of honor, Mr. Rajiv Rambhatla, sir. Sir is the head Hyderabad at King Sub and Kasiva. Sir focuses primarily on commercial litigation, consumer litigation, arbitration, company law, and regulatory issues. He has considerable experience in dealing with complex litigation matters and has been a recommended counsel for many multinational companies as well. Sir has been advises a broad spectrum of clients, working primarily with institutions, private equity funds, PSUs, banks, and multinational companies. He has also acted as a number of Indian companies, particularly in the context of high-profile commercial litigation and dispute resolution. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Rajiv Rambhatla, sir, to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Riddhi, for that wonderful introduction. And first of all, at the very outset, I'd like to thank the Law Internships team for organizing such a wonderful event.
Thank you.
and for inviting such wonderful panelists and valedictorians to this stage. It is my indeed honor to share the stage with somebody like Indira Parikh ma'am and also Mr. Naveen. It's a wonderful pleasure to be here, and thank you for all these wonderful opportunities. Uh, I would like to congratulate the Law Internship team once again for conducting this event successfully from starting Friday, and with the range of wonderful topics. And I've had the pleasure of being a part of Law Internship events before, where I've judged some of their moot court competitions and even some of the judgment writing competitions. And having said that, I think the team always comes up with very relevant and very socially relevant topics. And I think this debate competition was no exception. I had the pleasure of judging the finalists along with Mr. Naveen and a couple of other wonderful judges. And we felt that the topic was one which was of much relevance as well, which was to do with contempt of court and freedom of speech and expression. And also, I was just glancing over some of the other topics that were discussed over the course of the last 2 days, be it the Farmers Bill or the EIA. And I think all these are subjects that are, very, very socially relevant. And I think these are the need of the hour in terms of what we need to discuss. So kudos to the Law Internships team for coming up with these topics, and I'm sure what would have followed are some wonderful discussions and debates on these topics. It's an absolute pleasure for me to be speaking here today, and I don't want to bore you all too much, but I would just like to add on to what Indra ma'am has said, and just speak a little bit more from the law school aspect in terms of the importance of debates and such activities for law students, and how this adds to the holistic development of law students. Now, I think most of my colleagues who are on this panel, and even them, I would agree that for law students, especially, debates, moots, and a lot of these other co-curricular activities, be it client counseling competitions or even judgment writing competitions, they go a long way in developing a law student holistically. And again, these added with the internships are what make a law school experience complete, because frankly, I think all of us know, and I'm sure Naveen would agree, that law school only teaches you so much, but whatever we've learned from the profession and from our internships. And uh, and moot courts and debate competitions give you a good perspective on, or a good preview, if you may, to the profession, and they sort of give you a feeler of what it is that you can expect once you find yourself in this ocean, which is the profession. So, having said that, I think the debate culture, moot culture, this forms an integral part of the law school experience. And of course, the Law Internships team does a great job with internships, and we've had a pleasure at KSK, at Kingston and Kasiva, of hosting a number of students as interns who've come through our internships and otherwise. And we look forward to continuing that association, and it gives us immense pleasure to mentor and be a part of the journey of various law students. Um, I think I'm sure Naveen would also agree that and most lawyers would, that internships are as crucial to a law student's life as any other subject that is taught within law school. And I think it is at internships where we learn most of our subject matters. And I think that's why it's important for law students to to identify what kind of internships that they want to do in during their 5 years of law school. Most law schools only prescribe 5 mandatory internships, but I was one of the students. I was so excited to do internships that I did 10 internships throughout my 5 years of law school. And I think more and more students should try to focus the areas on which they want to do internships, and make the most of their breaks and do as many internships as they can, because this will give you a good head start on the profession. And your mentors and colleagues will be equally inspired, to train you and teach you if you are taking an interest in the subject the moment you're out of law school. So I think this is a very important aspect that adds to the holistic development of law students. And apart from this, I think I think it's a known fact that lawyers like myself, like Naveen, and various other panelists who've been part of this event for the last 2 3 days, we're all students, because we're all students of the law, irrespective of us not being law students anymore. And I think law is one subject that just doesn't stop teaching. I'm sure this is true for other subjects as well, but law is just one of those ever young subjects that one can never learn enough of, and there's just so many facets of the law that need to be learned and dealt with over time. Um, and coming to the next topic that I want to talk about, it's a wonderful pleasure to share the dais here with Indira ma'am, who is a very respected academician, and I come from a family of academicians, and it's wonderful for me to be here. In fact, my uncle, Professor Dr. R. Venkat Rao, he was the former two-term vice chancellor of National Law School of India, University, Bangalore, and he's currently the chairman of the law school at VIPS University in Delhi. And coming from a family of academicians and hoping to be an academician someday, it gives me immense pleasure to be in the august company of Indira ma'am. Uh, I think apart from this, all I would like to say is that for all students, especially for law students, communication, especially communication through dissent, which ultimately is a debate, is a tool. And I think this is a tool that all law students should master and should learn to use very skillfully throughout their careers. I think this is what will distinguish a good lawyer from a great lawyer. And I think that's the skill which budding law students would need to acquire. And I think Law Internships is doing a fantastic job in building that interest and facilitating that growth for the debating culture among law students, especially in trying times like this pandemic. When it is impossible to have a physical competition, I think Law Internships has done fantastically well to put together various virtual competitions, be it moot courts, be it judgment writing, or be it debates. So I think kudos to you guys on that. Congratulations. And in conclusion, before I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't take much time, but before I conclude, I would just like to add on to what Indra ma'am has said with regard to failure and failure being learning. I personally believe, and some of my seniors have told me as well, that every failure is a learning, and failure is in fact life's greatest teacher. Nothing can teach you more in life than failure can. In fact, I believe we learn more from failure than we do from successes. So I think in order to succeed, it's important to fail, to learn, to grow, because that's life, and that's how we eventually one day hope to reach our goals. So I think what Indra ma'am said is fantastic. And I think the advice that she gives to students is something that is very useful to all law students, and something that everyone should aspire to live by. And lastly, I will leave you with another one of the quotes that ma'am said: "Take challenges, learn from failures, and I'm sure there's nothing that can get in the way of you and your ultimate goal." Thank you so much, Law Internships team, for having me. It's again a pleasure to be here. Thanks a lot. Good luck and all the best ahead.
Thank you, sir. It's our pleasure. Thank you for your valuable insights. Further, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our guest of honor, Mr. Naveen Kumar Murthy, sir. Mr. Naveen Kumar Murthy, sir, is the founder of NKM Law Chambers and is a qualified practitioner focusing on litigation, arbitration, corporate advisory, and has dealt with the wide ranging matters in the areas of corporate law, insolvency and bankruptcy law, constitutional law, environmental law, securities law, and various other laws. Sir has also appeared before Supreme Court of India, Madras High Court, Kerala High Court, Bombay High Court, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, Debt Recovery Tribunal, and several other tribunals. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Naveen Kumar Murthy, sir, to address the gathering.
Good evening, Madam Parik, and my good friend who has just become a good friend in the last 20 minutes, my Mr. Rajiv, and the young and dynamic team in law internships. It's like being the last batsman who's just required to secure 4 runs of 10 balls. So it becomes easier that everybody has batted before me and I have very little to say. But nonetheless, being the last batsman, I can just play for some time in the crease, maybe a few minutes before I leave it to you guys to take it forward. Law Internship certainly has been a very good organization formed by very good minds. Simi, Riddhi, everybody have put in a fantastic show. I have been a part of the previous events also. This gives an excellent opportunity. Today's competition, I've seen the theme. There are three themes that, and all three are very relevant. The Farmers Bill, the Environmental Impact Assessment notifications, and of course, contempt of court versus free speech. These are contemporary areas and everyone must be aware and abreast of what's happening to make sure that in future you are aware of the present day problems and understand it from different sides. In a debate, there is always a for and an against. And when you are for, you must understand what the against is going to shoot at you. I think that's the best reason why a debate and a moot court helps a lawyer, because lawyers must be multidimensional and not unidimensional. We must know what the other side would say before you must know what you would be telling. In fact, in a lighter vein, since we spoke about contempt of court, there is a famous joke in Madras. A judge was arguing, was listening to an argument, and one lawyer was so irritated and he kept on arguing. And the judge said, "Are you thinking, am I a fool?" The lawyer was so quirky. He said, "My lords, I'm in a precarious situation. If I say yes, I will be hauled up for contempt. If I say no, I'd be held guilty of perjury." So it is a lighter vein. Of course, no judges are there. So fortunately, I will not be held up for contempt. But nonetheless, these are issues that we understand. Today, in fact, Rajiv and the other judges, we had a good time. The participants were able to convey a perspective. We were able to give them a perspective. All of us as lawyers, as Professor Parikh has rightly pointed out, we grow as people. As law students, we become good lawyers. And eventually, we are the people who will be tomorrow's judges and senior advocates and politicians. And this gives us a very good opportunity for us to learn how things are. And the debate has gone on very well. Everybody has done well in the finals. I'm sure that the previous rounds were very good. And since it's a women-centric panel today for the valedictory, I think only me and Rajiv are from the other side. I would take opportunity, since we have spent most of our time indoors since March. I saw two brilliant movies in Netflix about how law has changed and how the role of a woman in one movie, which all of us would have known, we would have heard about her. She's a doyen of women's rights and an identity, or rather an inspiration for every women lawyer, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg from the US, who recently passed away. The movie is called RBG, which is available on Netflix. It shows fantastically as to how a few group of women lawyers were able to change the perspective and give a dimension for women's rights. The women's rights movement in the US was primarily architected by a handful of women lawyers, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg was one among them. She eventually landed up in the Supreme Court, and she was known to be one among the best judges in the history of the US Supreme Court. And all of you would have recently seen the movie called Trial of Chicago 7, where the same notorious trial that took place in Chicago a few decades back indicates as to how a lawyer's prowess and the law system's prowess affects the entire nation. And today, as we discuss these three topics, the Farmers Bill, we are having protests all over the country. And I'm sure I have read the Farmers Bill. I understand it's all right, but there might be some minor tweakings that are required. Rajiv would agree with that. There are some minor tweakings that are required. At the same time, contempt of court that was debated with us in the finals, it's a very delicate balance that we will have to try to achieve. But law internships, I'm happy with the job that they are doing, because as Rajiv comes from a family of academicians, I come from a part family of lawyers. But there are so many people of first generation lawyers who require the guidance, who require an initial heads up, and they do not know where to go or when to go. And it's organizations like these law internships that facilitate a better access. You connect them to people. And that is very important, because we need a very informed, a very well-connected legal circuit. And even first generation lawyers, I have seen some are phenomenal. Some are phenomenal. There are even in the profession that we see some first generation lawyers are out of the world. They need not require any family bonding or family grooming. It's just that how you make it. Eventually, a family is just an added advantage in terms of the system, that's all. Beyond that, it's ultimately what you do. And law internships are acting as certainly as an impetus for these people to get good internships, participate in several competitions. I wish them all well. I wish you grow more. And I wish that we have more competitions like this. And the competition that we were judges, we had a great opportunity. It was a fantastic experience. And I am sure that in the future, we'll be joining in many more competitions. All the very best to the entire team and the participants. Look forward to joining you in the future. All the best.
Thank you for your encouraging words, sir. It's been our pleasure. Now comes the most awaited moment. I'm sure the participants must have been waiting and they have been holding their breath. So now I would like to invite Dr. Indra Parekh ma'am to announce the results of the National Virtual Debate Competition 2020. Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
You sent me on text message also?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me find it. No, I haven't received it on my text message. My WhatsApp is not working. My internet is not so good here in where I live.
Riddhi, probably you can send this again. Ma'am can.
You
Yes,
can
sir.
read it. Otherwise, you can read it. I'll clap.
Or
No, ma'am, we want this results to be announced by you. I'll just give me a minute.
Riddhi, why don't you send it to ma'am in the chat on Zoom? I think
Yes, sir.
Can we screen share it, Riddhi?
Ma'am, just hold on a second.
I'm ready with my messages open, so you send it to me.
Okay, ma'am.
Riddhi, probably you can just put the winner and the runner-up. You can just type it out and send it in WhatsApp in a text message. That helps.
I'm a little bit illiterate on technology.
No issues, ma'am. No issues. All of us have
My
our own
grandson is
jobs.
far more competent than I am.
Yes, and that's the boon and the bane of the younger generation.
All of us. These kids, 3-year, 4-year-olds, they know better technology than all of us.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes. And they will tell me, Dadi, it's so simple, but it's not so simple for me. He's sitting in the US and guiding me what to do many times.
That's nice.
All the excitement, they're getting anxious, the students.
Ma'am, this is just like the climax in a movie. The more we take it, the more
They will be biting their nails.
Absolutely. I think the longer the suspense, the better.
The better.
Riddhi, try to share the screen now.
Sir, actually, there's been a technical glitch. I'm not able to screen share. Just hold on.
No
Please
issues.
give me.
Why don't you send a text message to ma'am to a number?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably you can just put 1 and 2, winner and runner, and probably send it to ma'am.
98902 06766. Is the same as the WhatsApp number.
Yes, ma'am. I think they'll just be sending it to you.
It should come.
Yes, ma'am. I think Riddhi is typing. I could see
Yes.
screen.
Yeah, looks like she's typing.
I've got the winner's number.
Great, ma'am.
So I have to just announce the winner.
I have shared the runners-up as well, and even second runners-up.
So there are 3 prizes.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
So probably you can go from the back. The second runners up, then the runners up, then the winner.
Then last the
Doing
winner.
the
Yes.
suspense would be nice.
Just 1 minute. Let me get it. It was
Sure, ma'am. Sure. Please take your time.
winners, runners up, and
Second runner
Second
up.
runner-up.
second runner-up.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. As Naveen suggested, you can announce the second runner-up first, then the first runner-up, and then lastly the winner.
So have you sent the name, or it is just, it says
Ma'am, it's the team code.
NVDC 28.
Yes, ma'am.
That is the second runner-up.
Congratulations,
Correct?
NVBC 28.
Okay, then I have this. Then I have the information. So, Senai, shall I do the first runner-up?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
please.
NVDC 26.
Congratulations, NVBC
Congratulations.
26.
2026.
And the winner is LINVDC 20.
Many congratulations, NVBC 28.
Yes, congratulations to everybody.
Congratulations to the participants, to the winner, runners-up, and the second runner-up.
Riddhi, maybe you can announce their names as well now. Now that the codes have
Yes.
been announced.
Yes, sir. So the winner name is Gagan M. He's from Bangalore Institute. And the runners-up's name is Mahima Varghese. She's from Mar Gregorius College, Kerala. And the second runners-up is Diksha Garg. She's from St. Joseph College.
Very good.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations. All three, a fantastic job.
Very well done. Congratulations to all the participants.
Now, further, I would like to invite Ms. Serafina Ilyas to propose a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Gratitude is the healthiest emotion of all. 3 days of debating the divergence of view to enrich our knowledge. The participants pan India actively participated in the competition and gave their best. Now it is time to roll down the curtains on this event. And I, Serafina Ilyas, on behalf of the Law Internships Online Law School family, present our sincere gratitude to all present here in making this event successful. Firstly, I express my sincere gratitude to Professor Indira Parikh ji for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion with her presence. Ma'am, today you have shared the valuable words of how reading is important, how trusting destiny, and how taking up challenges ensures a successful budding lawyer or an academician or enriches our knowledge even more. Thank you so much for those words, ma'am. Indeed, as you said, and I quote, it is a one-line advice that we'll remember for our lifetime. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here with us. It was certainly a pleasure to have you with us. Secondly, I take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to Advocate Naveen Kumar Murthy sir for gracing this occasion with his presence and for supporting us throughout this event. Thank you so much, sir. And as you highlighted about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, ma'am, she's an inspiration for all of us and on how she has changed the pace of women entering in law and how you have told us to face as a lawyer the challenges we come across. And yes, communication is indeed a very required skill every lawyer should have. And that is one fundamental thing that will keep us going and that will ensure that we face each opportunity that comes through us. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being here with us. Next, I take the opportunity to express gratitude to Advocate Rajiv Rambhatla, sir. Thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion with your presence. And yes, as you have highlighted the importance of how a law student can never learn enough. Indeed, it is a very dynamic field. It keeps changing. Each day, we cannot predict what happens the next. But indeed, this is an interesting field to be in. And your words have really inspired us to face the challenges that come across, be it the first generation lawyers or a lawyer with the background of lawyers. Thank you so much, sir, for being here with us. And next, I thank the participants for being here in this event and for enriching their experience and the audience who completed this event. Now, it will not be out of place to thank our whole law internships team who has worked day and night to make this event the most successful. Thank you so much, team. You have made this event happen in a most appropriate manner. Now, I wholeheartedly thank our director, Shubhang sir. He is a man who is very passionate and he has a great vision on how the law internships, the online law school should be moving forward. It is his support and his guidance that keeps moving us forward and motivates us to work each day. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I once again thank all of you present here, and with all the pride, I announce our upcoming competition, that is the National Client Counseling Competition, which is organized by the Law Internships team, the Online Law School, on the month of January 2021. The further details will be updated on our website on December 15, 2020. So do stay tuned for more updates. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us today.